I had no idea what I was getting into. We weren't trained in the seminary for healthcare. It was certainly learning on the job, because Father Fisher, Mr. Paulette, I don't think any of us had the training to come and be community organizers or social service people at all. So it was something we learned along the way. Father Don Fisher was the executive director of Focus on Renewal and the Community Health Center, which are two separate corporations, but he was leaving for Tanzania. He was going to go work with the Spirit priest in Tanzania, Africa. And so the bishop called me and asked if I wanted to come down and take his place. So I said sure, because I respected the work, what they were doing down here very much. So I figured I'd come down for a couple of years and move on. But and that was 1975. So I've been here for 46 years. And I grew up in a working class family, and all the folks down here are working class people. So I just really felt comfortable. And again, just being able to listen to the people to see what was going on, what was not going on, what was needed. That was always the stance of the way we did things. When I came, we were in this little storefront. We had a lunch program for the elderly. One office was a credit union. They had started a credit union. We had one dental chair that was donated by an old dentist, the old Roger Spittoon. They had rubber bands running the drills. Downstairs was a pediatric clinic, and the people were dropping in, and we had started to collect books, lined the walls with books. So almost everything was there in seed form. And of course, just watch for opportunities to bring nourishment to all those things.
Friday nights, there would be a gathering. First we would have Mass at St. Vincent's Church, and then people would gather at the bank building afterwards and have cookies or whatever. So that was in 1975. In 1979, that's when she started talking about how they needed to have this health board in order to be able to apply for federal funding. They had to have a board of users. And at the time, there was a small health center, mostly volunteer doctors. And it would be nice to get a grant.
When the FOR began in 1969, it was Father Fisher and Sister Paulette. And till I came around, it was Father Ryan and Sister Ruth.
One of the important elements through the years has been the utilization and the enjoyment and the commitment of the Sisters of St. Joseph. I always like to say they did most of the work, and I got most of the credit. In 1971, they set up the health center, but then Hurricane Agnes came through and wiped it out months after they set it up. So they had to just start all over again. And always the people of the community were very, very instrumental in making things happen by way of volunteering. So that was a very shaky beginning. So when I came, I was 4 years old. Shortly after that, we were able to buy the building, the old bank building at 701 Chartiers Avenue, and we moved everything over there. Put the health center in the lower level. All the senior citizens who were coming for lunch, we put on the upper level. And so we thought we were in good shape. And we were for a while, a couple of years, but then we found the community health center money, the federally qualified health center grant, and we grew and grew and grew. And so we eventually, after several years, bought the building that we're sitting in now. We moved everything over here, and we thought we'd never, ever need any more room, but of course we did, and still do.
You know, I can remember that Saturday we came in and carried everything across the street, and I remember my dental receptionist. You know, when we came here, it was a marvelous castle. I came here as a general dentist, and that's where I began in 1982. When I came for the interview in 1981, the building that we're now sitting in, all the conduits were coming from the ceiling, none of the walls were up, and Father Ryan was so proud to show me what this was going to be in the future. I had immediate liking for Father Ryan and Sister Ruth, And it seemed like they were very mission-driven, very patient-oriented, and they really had a dream of something that they wanted to see continue to be fulfilled. Sister Paulette's words, it's about time that you took what you learned and you shared that with another neighborhood. So those words convinced the board. We started to meet people of that community, and it was a medically underserved area as this location had been. So the mission matched. When we moved to Hilltop, we went to the site in Beltshoover back in '04. It was a marvel to see them put those trailers together to become a modular unit, put the foundation, because I'd go up to check, periodically, and you'd see this thing building every day. And we came to a new community. I can remember the opening day, or the opening party we had to celebrate the opening day that was coming. And what a happy day that was for the people that were in that area. And also when we moved to the new building at Hilltop, that was another, impactful memory that I had when we left those modular units where we had been for a decade, and we thought we'd only be there 3 years. So the folks that worked there, they were owed a lot. They really worked under tough conditions for many years. We didn't think that the facility would last that long physically, let alone be able to accommodate an increasing number of people that they were seeing. So opening up that in the former old South Hills High School was quite an event. I was blessed. I also had the opportunity to see the health center from many different perspectives. So I've always cherished that.